On May 29, 1999, the nation couldn't believe it. Olusegun Obasanjo was sworn in as the first democratically elected president.
After I've given everybody a sense of belonging, feeling that, well, they can proudly call themselves Nigerians again, no matter where they come from. Maybe we need a bit of political oddity to make a change in this country and indeed in Africa.
You know why democracy is so important to me? I remember the before and after. The difference between 1998 and 2000, it's like night and day. Under Obasanjo, Nigerians began to return to Nigeria. There was hope. Debt relief that Okonjo-Iweala facilitated for us. NDLEA, NSITF, EFCC, Debt Management Office. Things were moving. You felt like you belonged to a country. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. People left abroad and came back under Obasanjo. Many of them were disappointed. But you take the percentage of growth on any human development index, and compare it with what we had under the military comparatively. Democracy has been better. People say things like, there's no democracy because newspaper was shut down, somebody was arrested, and those are unfortunate and do not deserve to exist. But it's not comparable to what I grew up seeing in South African democracy. We just shot in Cape Town, as you see, and Johannesburg. And I know that young South Africans are very angry, and they should be. This is not a democracy that Nelson Mandela went to jail for 27 years for. This is not the democracy that he stepped down after one term in office for. This is a disgrace. And I join my peers, seniors, younger people in South Africa to say this is not acceptable. And the punishment that they have meted out to the ANC, just like the punishment that Kenyans have meted out to Ruto, is well deserved.
The last maybe 20 years, the Zuma years, I think our electoral system, our democratic processes are still robust. Everyone knows the ANC has failed us as a country, and having them be contested so strongly is something I'm happy with. I'm not happy with who is doing that contestation, though.
My personal opinion on democracy, I feel that there's still millions of South Africans that are oppressed. So I don't believe that democracy has been completely successful in this country. We can look at the poverty stats, and that's indicative that there's still a lot of suffering. There's a lot of bad crime happening in this country.
We've been subjected to a lot of unfair and unjust policies and systems that essentially don't favor the people. For instance, you have a certain number of people that actually benefit from social outreach programs, but you're not really reaching the people that should be conscientized with information. For instance, a lot of villagers are not privy to information pertaining to legislature. For instance, like different legislation like statutes and acts, they don't know that they can actually be part of that system and the processes therefore.
To say that Mandela sold you out because he didn't attack, they say that a Nigerian proverb says when a young person falls down, he looks forward. When an old man falls down, he looks backward. Fight for the democracy that you have now to be better.
You see, the 8th of June is the death anniversary of Nigeria's ruthless, murderous dictator, Sani Abacha. And so on this blessed Sunday morning, I wake up and people were talking with nostalgia. About times past. They were saying, Abacha wasn't so bad. They were saying, he was bad, but things are even worse now. Because, the dude only made us lose a few thousand jobs, killed a few hundred businesses, killed 10 or 20 people. Nothing too serious. So my inner man told me, you have to join this conversation. And so I tweeted this statement from the bottom of my heart. Sani Abacha was Satan. The feedback from the faithful was swift. Oh, you shouldn't take a side. You are a young leader. We expected more from you. And then my favorite reaction to any and all debate by my Christian brethren: thou shalt not judge. The feedback was so convincing, I decided to repent of my sins. So I picked up my iPad, I still have it here, and I tweeted a follow-up for the avoidance of doubt. This is what I truly meant. General Sani Abacha was Satan.
Our music industry died. It died under the military. It died. You pick up, open a radio station, 80% was foreign music, clubs, foreign music. There were no, the number of superstars per capita, dangerously low. Musicians were fleeing. Record labels that had come were going. EMI, Premier Music. The only star that was shouting was Fela at some point, and even he at the risk of his life.
Babala nonsense. Babala nonsense.
They eventually beat him, arrested him, all of that. This one that Sheon Kuti entered jail and came out, Fela would not have come out. Oh. Seizing the entire print run, shutting down the printing press, putting pregnant women in jail, threatening children. One man was told, Segun Adeniyi, who's the present chairman of the editorial board of this day newspaper, he was arrested for publishing a story, I think, about Abacha being sick. In his presence, a military man that had arrested another pro-democracy told him the name, the age of his children, how many months pregnant his wife was, and told that night they were going to rape his wife. Segun Adeniyi reported this in his book, Last 100 Days of Abacha. Happened in this country.
My advice to all of us is please look at history. How these individuals, there are people who are lucky, but there are very few. People should get something because they have the capacity, they have all what it takes to win the election.
Every country, and this is historic, verifiable history, that has had a revolution, never usually go back to where they're coming from. I'm not saying that there won't be forces that will reverse revolutionary gains, but why are we here? It's not because we have developed over time technologically, that we learn from the mistakes of the past, and when we get to, where we want to make our own mistakes, we have volumes and volumes of mistakes to refer to and say, we're not going to repeat this.
I asked President Olusegun Obasanjo in my interview with him that these successive dictatorships, when he looks back now, what did they really do for the country? Does he regret being part of it? It's a question we have to ask the military leaders, including the wide-eyed first coup plotters who thought they were going to change this country.
Have had extensive consultations within the armed forces hierarchy and other well-meaning Nigerians in a bid to find solutions to the various political, economic, and social problems which have engulfed our beloved country and which have made life most difficult to the ordinary citizens of this nation.
As members of the highest ruling organ of government, you are directly in the focus of the keen and watchful eyes of the public for your conduct of public affairs, your utterances, and general behavior. I, therefore, expect of all of you at all times loyalty, good conduct, and exemplary leadership qualities. I equally expect of you to be above board and render selfless service to the nation.
Babangida was both military dictator and a self-styled president, head of state. And he promised that he was going to return Nigeria to a democracy very soon. Each time he made the promise, he broke the promise. If you grew up under IBB, as he was called, you knew that government was not a place to go and serve your country. You know that government was a place to go and chop money. Whatever traditions of governance we have today, the military gave them to us. Kudirat Abiola was gunned down. Sergeant Rogers and a man called Franco Menka were famous, who used to run the DMI, were famous for vanishing and killing Nigerians and boasting about it.
Shall be the truth. Shall be the truth. The whole truth. The whole truth. And nothing but the truth. And nothing but the truth. So help me. Oh, help me, God.
Sergeant Rogers.
Ma'am.
Permit me to call you that.
Yes, ma'am.
You stated a while ago that during your tenure, you still belong to the strike force.
Yes.
Yes, while you were actively involved in its activities.
Yes, ma'am.
You were involved in 3 assassinations.
Yes.
Okay, yes. And that in one of that, the only one you personally handled,
Yes.
only one person died.
Yes, sir.
You didn't tell us who that person was.
Elijah Kudirat Abiola.
As a child, we used to tell ourselves, don't say that in case the government will not kill you. We were afraid to speak under Abacha. At that time, one military dictator, I don't want to name the name because it's so outlandish, his child died in a crash that he allegedly ordered because he wanted to kill all the people who were on the flight with that child. That's what Nigeria was. Things are bad, but they were better.
2 minutes later, and the Biafrans are having trouble getting their troops to advance from their forward positions. Most of their bullets are going into the ground ahead.
When we lost direct contact with Lagos, they had some 4 battalions, ill-equipped, and I know that they have been purchasing a lot of arms since, and I know that they have negotiated and received a few armored vehicles. Prior to that, they had some scout cars. I know they have tried to get planes. I am not sure they have got them there. But on our side, we too have not been sitting quietly. There has been quite a lot of build-up. And I think what I have here is sufficient to maintain the integrity of Biafra and more.
All that destruction, all those deaths in the First Republic, the coups and the counter-coups that led to hundreds of thousands of Igbo children dying. Was it worth it? Was the Saba massacre worth it? Is this the reason young men were lined up? In my states, I'm from Delta, allegedly called for a meeting by one of the heads of state, Murtala Muhammad, and all shot dead. Is this what they were hoping to give us? This country? See these influencers tweeting, oh, let's go back to military. You fit? Our economy was shut down. Countries refused us to travel. Forget what we are dealing with Dubai. Multiple countries. Between Abiola and Abacha, 419 exploded. Drug trafficking exploded. People were talking about drug traffickers who had connections inside the presidential villa. I sometimes get worried about Nigerians who know better, who lie to successive generations that their protests are the most important protests I ever were. No protests in my generation have topped the June 12 protests, or indeed the protests that happened under Abacha, including Youth Earnestly Reject Abacha, which was coordinated by a number of forces, including the Center for Democracy. What military dictators do is feed on our desire for hope. That's what politicians do as well. But at least in politics, there's a democratization of power. Just feed on that hope, come with a fiat. But go and watch any coup that has happened on our continent. None has materially changed the lives of its citizens. Democracy is still ability for people to breathe, to partner internationally, for markets to play around, for women to advance forward. There's nothing like it. There's nothing like it.